The abrupt resignation of Defense Secretary Jim Mattis has alarmed an already tense Capitol Hill, causing lawmakers on both sides to speak out. Democrats decried the latest Trump administration departure as a crisis, but Republicans also voiced concern. Senators Mitch McConnell and Marco Rubio called the move distressing and damaging to the United States on the world stage. Jim Mattis appeared to clash with Mr. Trump over his decision to withdraw troops from Syria. In his resignation letter, Jim Mattis
68.
said the president had the right to appoint someone whose views are better aligned with yours. The announcement of his departure came amid two major military decisions Jim Mattis had opposed: withdrawing troops from Syria and reducing United States presence in Afghanistan. United States allies were not consulted or informed ahead of time about the president's decisions. United States media reported the respected general will leave the job in February, though it remains unclear who President Donald Trump has in mind to replace him. On Capitol Hill, Jim Mattis' resignation and his reason for doing so shocked lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Democratic Senator Mark Warner, who is vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, labeled the development scary. Secretary Mattis has been an island of stability amidst the chaos of the Trump administration. He said, "This is scary." Secretary Mattis has been an island of stability amidst the chaos of the Trump administration, as we have seen with the president's haphazard approach to Syria. Our national defense is too important to be subjected to the president's erratic whims. https://co9qplusgluc. End of Twitter post by @MarkWarner. Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy called Jim Mattis' apparent protest resignation a national security crisis. A Secretary of Defense quitting over a public disagreement with a president whose foreign policy he believes has gone off the rails is a national security crisis. No way around it. End of Twitter post by @Chris Murphy. Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, ranking member on the Armed Services Committee, said, "President Trump is leading the country in the wrong direction, and Secretary Mattis is not willing to go along with it." San Jack Reed pulls no punches in his pound key Mattis' resignation statement. President Trump is leading the country in the wrong direction and Secretary Mattis is not willing to go along with it. Pick. Twitter. Come do 6 for Kid. End of Twitter post by Leah Shane. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi also described Jim Mattis as a comfort to many who were concerned about the Trump presidency. General Mattis was a comfort to many who were concerned about the path the Trump admin would choose to take. His resignation letter is defined by statements of principles that drove him to leave the administration. All of us should be concerned at this time. End of Twitter post by @Nancy Pelosi. And Representative Adam Schiff of California, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, said the White House would not see his like again while Trump remains in office. Old Marines never die, but may do resign after the president ignores their advice, betrays our allies, rewards our enemies, and puts the nation's security at risk. Turn out the lights when Mattis leaves. We will not see his like again while Trump remains in office. https://code5error. End of Twitter post by @Repodomshift. Former Vice President Joe Biden also weighed in, saying Jim Mattis' presence would be missed and his exit makes it clear this administration has abandoned those core American beliefs. Retired Army Gen Stanley McChrystal, the former top United States commander in Afghanistan, told CNN, the kind of leadership that causes a dedicated patriot like Jim Mattis to leave should give pause to every American. Even top lawmakers from Mr. Trump's own Republican Party have criticized the administration over Jim Mattis' departure. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he was distressed to hear the resignation was reportedly due to sharp differences with the president on key aspects of America's global leadership. The Kentucky Republican also urged Mr. Trump to choose a replacement who shares Secretary Mattis' understanding of American principles. My statement on Secretary Mattis' big Twitter.com 0F6-3096. End of Twitter post by @Senator Mulder. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who ran against Mr. Trump for the Republican nomination in 2016, said the letter makes it abundantly clear that we are headed towards a series of grave policy errors which will endanger our nation, damage our alliances, empower our adversaries. Just read Jen Mattis' resignation letter. It makes it abundantly clear that we are headed towards a series of grave policy errors which will endanger our nation, damage our alliances, empower our adversaries. A half-pick. Twitter.com etc0in. End of Twitter post by @Marco Rubio. Senator Lindsey Graham, who has been a vocal critic of the administration's decisions to withdraw troops in Syria and Afghanistan, tweeted his great sadness about the news, saying Jim Mattis had provided sound and ethical military advice to President Trump. Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger said of Jim Mattis' resignation, "That's what happens when you ignore sound military advice." He added Jim Mattis' departure was an act of patriotism, standing for our American principles above all else. I admire Secretary Mattis. His service has been one of honor and respect. His resignation is an act of patriotism, standing for our American principles above all else. End of Twitter post by @Rep Kinzinger. And Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse, who has criticized the president before, said it was a sad day for America because Secretary Mattis was giving advice the president needs to hear. United States Media reported other Republicans have not been as dire in their reactions, expressing disappointment while urging the president to find a capable replacement. United States Media reported the United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28. It said in a statement, "These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants." Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States in January 2017. A tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined. The latest strikes bring to at least 40 the number carried out in Somalia so far this year, compared with 35 recorded in 2017. The United States has a huge military base in neighboring Djibouti, from where it launches attacks on the militants. Mr. Trump gave the United States military greater authority in March 2017 to attack militants in Somalia. Traditionally, United States presidents have been wary of intervening in Somalia since 18 Special Forces soldiers died fighting militias in the capital Mogadishu in 1993. a battle dramatized in the film Black Hawk Down. No civilians were killed in the latest airstrikes, which were carried out in coordination with the Somali government, the United States military said. Alongside our Somali and international partners, we are committed to preventing Al-Shabaab from taking advantage of safe havens from which they can build capacity and attack the people of Somalia, the United States Africa Command said. Al-Shabaab